Bonjour, everyone. Welcome back in bed with the fitness industry. I'm Nathalie Lacombe, your career and business coach and Cupid. And it's my absolute pleasure on this edition to welcome my friend who I miss dearly and thank goodness get to see in bed today, Lindsay Vastola. Welcome. Hello, friend.
Hello, can you see me?
Yes,
Okay, because I can't see myself. So as long as you can see me,
I can
it's fine.
I can absolutely see you. Thank
Good.
you for
And my
asking.
bed and the environment, you got
And the
me.
bed and the
Good. Good,
environment.
good, good, good.
Welcome, Lindsay. Such a
Okay.
pleasure to have you here today. Such a pleasure to connect with you. You and I actually have these conversations a lot, and we're like, let's turn them on to so that everybody can benefit from your incredible insights and the sharing and the generosity that you have always had, which is, I think, why you and I connected since the first time that we met. For those of you who don't know Lindsay, she's the creator of Momentum 365, which is a turnkey mindset and habit change platform for fitness and wellness companies. She's the founder of Vast Potential. Always love that name. The founder of Vast Potential and Body Project, the former editor of Personal Fitness Professional magazine. She's a speaker, a trainer, and a consultant across all these industries. Welcome, Lindsay. Thank you so much for coming today, joining us in comfy kind of clothes. Usually say, I love that you said what you usually wear to bed is t-shirt that you grab for free at conferences. It's been a
Yes,
while.
it has. And those, I just said, you know what? It's a special occasion, so
Okay.
I'm gonna get my monogrammed, fancy pajamas
Love it.
just for you. But yes, usually it's just one of
Love
those,
it.
like your free conference teacher t-shirts.
Yeah. Which I feel like the last one you would have had might be a little bit dingy because it's been a while. We're due for a new t-shirt. We're
It's
due
been
for
a
a new
while. That's what I'm
fitness and
excited
wellness
about, the
conference.
getting back to events for the t-shirts. I never thought I'd be that person, but I
The t-shirt or the gym bags of the amount of gym bags that we've had at those events. And you're one of those try and get an 8 hour kind of sleepers, right? So you normally like to go to bed at 10 and wake up at 6.
yeah, and I've actually pushed that back an hour. I've really found that extra hour earlier. When I owned my
Mm,
gym, I was up, 3:30, 4 a.m. And I think after leaving the studio gym space 3 years ago, I needed a long time to like detox from 4 a.m. wake ups.
yeah.
But I remember how much I loved those early morning before the world
Mm,
wakes up. And so I really am finding I'm actually most productive in like that 5 to 6:30 before I got to do the kids and school and everything. So,
nice.
but aiming for a consistent 10-ish time, bedtime. But
Finish bedtime. I
yes.
find it easier. It's funny. When we had our dog Andy, I used to realize that I do wake up with him, and I wake up with the sun. So as we're getting closer to spring and summer,
Yeah.
I'm waking up earlier. Or it's more easy. Like in the winter time, that 4 a.m. is like,
Ugh.
aha.
It's cold, it's
It's the middle
dreadful,
of
it's
the night.
dark.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for coming in, and we just realized that we'll probably be able to squeeze each other in the next few weeks. But thank you so much for coming in now and sharing with everybody who's watching either on YouTube or on our podcast channel, and sharing what you've noticed. I mean, since 2019, I think end of 2019 is the
Yeah.
last time you and I saw one another. How has your focus changed? I mean, as a leader, a presenter, an educator, a coach, all these things that you do, how have you seen your focus shift over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think personally, and some of it's really interesting. I think that the shift was happening prior to the pandemic in terms of,
Mm,
what do I call myself and my business, right? In terms of the products and services that I'm selling, like the programming, but then the piece, as it fits into the fitness industry. And it's interesting, if I look back when I started my business, my first business, it was Body Project Fitness and Wellness. And it was really strange. I always felt wellness resonated with me because I knew what I believed wellness was, that I believed
mm,
people needed in their life. But I ended up changing it at one point a few years later to fitness and lifestyle, because I think lifestyle seemed at that point to be kind of the word. People were looking for a healthier lifestyle.
yeah.
And for me, there was kind of always this visceral, like, wellness. Does that feel too hokey? Does it feel like, will people think that it's I don't know, crystal balls and oils and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
a bit more
Wellness.
esoteric than people were prepared to
Right, right. They weren't
gravitate
ready
toward.
for it in the
Mm,
same way.
mm,
And as I left like owning my fitness studio and shifted into taking what I learned in that space, the mindset piece, the habit change piece,
yeah.
um, at its essence, what it really is it's wellness. And it used to be easier to sell lifestyle habit change. And now it is, people are aware of it. But more than ever, I'm noticing consumers, this is what they're actually seeking out now. Like before, it was a sort of like, come for my fitness. And oh, by the way, you're going to get this wellness stuff.
Mm,
And I think there's been a shift a little bit before the 2 years, especially with topics like burnout, especially in the corporate space and so on.
mm,
But the
mm,
last 2 years, wellness and well being, the definition for consumers, they are looking for it. So, how has it
mm,
changed for me is I'm really kind of stepping in and owning that I truly am a wellness company. The products and services I'm offering our wellness, and looking at, it's interesting even if you look at companies who are analyzing different market trends. There never
yeah.
was a wellness category, because how do you
Mm,
quantify wellness now
mm,
with all the wellness companies, the watches, the Aura rings, the technologies, and all the online coaching space? Wellness is something they're actually measuring. So
mm,
maybe it just gave me some confidence that this is something now. It's not superfluous out here. It's something more
yeah.
tangible and measurable. And then really kind of stepping in, owning that, and now promoting it. So that becomes the thing that we can talk about, teach it,
Mm,
sell it, promote it, coach it, and train it. So
mm. It's interesting. I find even, I mean, the concept of physical health and mental health, and the concept of mental health has been brought up a lot, even from the traditional fitness industry in the
yes,
last couple of years, because when people no longer were able to, for that time, for that period of time, access to physical space where physical fitness is what,
right,
or that health was pulled in. People were like, yeah, it's one thing that, I'm struggling in my physical health, but my mental health is what has taken such a turn, me no longer accessing fitness. And I think that the fact that mindfulness, like you said, is coming out. And I just, now that you mention it, the mindfulness on my Apple Watch now has, because I used to have just the breathe section, and now I'm getting like, mindfulness triggers on my watch now, which I never had before. And I'm like, oh, look at them, this purposeful life, the everything,
right.
it feels like everything is out there, people saying, I want to live with purpose, I want to have the right lifestyle, I want to live a mindful life, I want to take care of my physical, mental, immune health. It's all wrapped into it. And so I love that you are, well, it doesn't surprise me that it's always been there. And now that you're like, no, it's at the forefront of what I do now,
Yep.
because it's where everybody's paying attention to it. I've always cared about it. And I love that it's helping you stay genuine in what it is that you're doing now and moving forward. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really cool. Have you noticed it that even the market, so so we're talking about what's offered out there, by people in the industry and outside of the industry. What about clients? What about members? Are you noticing that they're asking for things differently, that you're like, yeah, this is what I've always held on to for my entire career, and now I'm so glad that people are gravitating toward
Yeah.
asking for these services?
To me, this is, I've said it for even pre-pandemic, and this is not to toot my own horn. I think it's just the natural evolution of what's happened with the consumer space.
Mm, mm,
Is I think we used to have to work a lot harder to educate the importance of mindfulness, the importance of
mm,
self-awareness, the importance of habit change, and these sort of things. And you listed like 10 words and like your last minute or so there that
mhm.
consumers are saying on their own, right? I know I need mindfulness. I know I need, maybe it's not meditation, but I heard it's good for me. And so I
Yeah,
should do, right?
or just breathing. Yeah.
Breathing, mental well-being.
Mm,
Whereas before, I think the language of a lot of the consumers were things like, I have to get back on track. And get back on
yeah.
track meant get back into a crazy fitness routine and
Mm,
on a restrictive diet plan. Now they know they need something more. I think the difference with the consumer now is they know they need something more, but they're still not quite sure what that more looks like. Is
Mm.
it a piece of technology? Is it a coach? Now they're presented with several options, but they're maybe still navigating. It's not as clear cut as I have to get fit, I'm going to go to the gym. So they know they need something. And I think what a couple things I've noticed that are different prior to, and this kind of goes more into the fitness space, what I've observed is the marketing and the messaging around fitness centers, studios was come for the community. Everybody wants community
Mm-hmm.
support, like-minded people, same
Mm-hmm.
goals.
Mm-hmm.
And I think kind of ironically, or what's the word, like paradoxically,
Mm-hmm.
I think people, as much as they've been alone, they're actually fearful. They don't want community immediately. That's not what they're being sold on. They know they're going to need some individual. They're, maybe they're not
Personalization.
confident. Yeah, they want
Mm.
personalization. Maybe it's been 2 years since they've been in a gym, and now they feel like a beginner again. So stepping foot back in a gym feels
Mm.
like that daunting task. And so, our consumers, I think the way they're going to come into fitness and wellness isn't the typical, like, come in for our free trial Zumba class or come in for a personal training session. Are they going to come in? I think they're looking for, come for a habit change workshop, come for our stress management workshop. It's an
Yeah.
easier foot in to
Mm.
get them into that environment, being around people, but they're coming for themselves. I had somebody in one of my group programs tell me that once, just a couple of months ago, where I used to, my curriculum and my programming, one of the core tenets was you're going to be in a community of women who are like-minded.
Yeah.
And I had a few people say, you know what? I'm here for me. And I like that. That's kind of a bonus to be around women. But
Mm.
right now I it's about me. So I think it's just an interesting thing to
That's really
consider.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, attracting beyond, because we keep talking about this, about 15% of the population that's a member of a gym or a structured physical activity environment. And if we're going to want to go beyond that, plus it's dropped, it's drops in the last couple of years. And if we want to go beyond that, attracting them by the same thing we've been attracting them with, which is sculpting their bodies, which is what we've done as an industry. I'm
Yeah.
generalizing, but as an industry, that's what we've done for 40 years now. If we want to get more people, then yeah, if we want to demystify and take away the anxiety around the environments, for sure. Yeah, bringing it through bringing them through a improve your sleep workshop, because
Right. And
and having
let's,
them come in for that, and then being like, yeah, physical
yes.
activity isn't. We're not a quote unquote gym. We are, supporting preventative health
Right.
or habit change or whatever you talk about.
Yeah.
Physical activity is an integral part of that, but that's part of how you get better sleep. That's part of how you cope better with stress. That's part.
Yeah.
I love that idea of attracting them with something different that
Right.
is solving a problem that they have for themselves. That's not bicep curls.
Right. And what that does, is it provides a missing link. Like if we're talking
Mm.
strictly business, how does
Yeah.
this impact the business? It impacts retention. That's the first thing that comes to mind because,
Yeah.
I was just talking yesterday with she manages a medical wellness, medical fitness facility that's attached to a hospital, and she said one of the biggest challenges we see with our trainers is they get a client in, but then it's, once they get off track or they have their 1 or 2 sessions and
Yeah.
they fall off, that trainer doesn't have the tools
Hmm.
to retain them, to get them how to get them to come back in after they've missed a few
Hmm.
sessions or what have you. And so if they're coming in on the premise of you have 10 personal training sessions or you're coming for this class, um, that 10 to 15% are going to be the same generally self-motivated people that we've been, targeting the whole time. To get that
Yeah.
other 80%, we need to teach them from the beginning, right? From their first in, like, really enculturate with the staff and their journey from the minute they come in, how they're actually, what are the motivators that are going to keep them sustaining with their fitness, teaching the coaches and the trainers and the front desk staff how
Mm.
to just approach that gap. Like, that's the missing link to me. Is the link anymore isn't come in for the free personal training session, we'll teach you how to get fit. It's
Mm.
how are we going to teach you actually how to sustain that, and actually teaching that with those some of those topics that we talked about earlier.
And and you share some of those programs because I'm thinking of both from a club manager or a studio owner perspective, and then from even like a coach or a fitness professional perspective that are like, I would love to do this. This is where some of your programs actually
Mhm.
mine that gap, right, Lindsay?
Yes. Yeah. So my, the thinking, what I did with my fitness studio for 15 years, different iterations of what started as really, at a core, food and fitness, right? And then I realized, I said, but what do I have to really teach these members that so they can actually stick with it long term, right? It's
Hmm.
the stress. Why do they stop exercising? Because of a stressful situation? Okay, I need to teach them stress resilience. um,
Hmm.
Making better food choices where it's they can actually live life and not feel like it's so prescriptive and rigid.
Yeah.
And there's strategies and ways to do this. So how do I take this program that worked so well for the retention in my business, my fitness business, but it also served as a tool, and I didn't even really consciously realize this at the time, but that same program was the tool that I used to train my staff.
Mm.
And this is how we provide the best results for our clients. And in doing so, they learned emotional intelligence. They learned self awareness. They learned
Mm.
communication skills through the same strategies, right? Like learning how to teach this program, coach this program with our clients.
Mm.
They had to learn how to coach a little bit differently, which only made them better fitness coaches, but it also gave them an amazing just career and personal development piece
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
which helped my retention for my staff. And I didn't see the turnover
Ha.
in
Right.
staff. So, the way I kind of see these types of programs is it's really this all-encompassing wellness for your staff, consistency, better outcomes, more purposeful, deeper coaching. A lot of fitness professionals, they want to do more than just fitness because at some point they
Mm.
see their clients need more. And they know that it can't just be and the key is it can't just be the like I give motivation during my classes, right? It has to
Mm.
be there has to be a curriculum, there has to be a journey, there has to be something more specific for them to sink their teeth into.
I love that. Is that some of the projects that you're looking forward to in the months to come and continue to make those types of programs available to those who are looking to take it beyond fitness, shift towards mindset, shift towards wellness, shift towards habit
Yeah.
changing, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what so my I have an 8-week program that is kind of that like foundational it talks about, the basic habits, and not basic habits, but really that missing link between maybe there's a reason why you're not sticking with fitness. Let's
Mm.
look at fitness a different way. Let's look at the
Mm.
way you approach food in a different way. Let's look at stress management a different way. And doing it in these really engaging through courses and videos, but that in person, whether it's one-on-one coaching, group coaching. So what I've been working on, I have several fitness facilities and a few medical practices actually looking to, or they've licensed the programs, integrated
Nice.
it as private label programs that they offer as sort of their signature well-being wellness programs that complement. So it's not a fitness, these aren't fitness and diet plans. They perfectly complement the current services that a fitness center, a wellness center offer.
Right.
But it does it in a way that's curriculum based. It gives the client, the member, a very specific pathway and journey, which I think a lot of fitness centers miss. They need to
Mm.
communicate a journey for the client from the moment they start. What's
Mm.
the promise? Where are they taking them? And how are they going to support them there? So,
I
yeah, these
love that.
programs for me, selfishly, well, not selfishly, but it bridges, it gives me the opportunity to obviously impact the clients and get better outcomes for their clients. But what I love doing is, this program, same program, also teaches the staff, the trainers, for them to get better outcomes, to have more meaningful careers,
Yeah.
to then perpetuate that impact that we're having.
Love that. And as you know, helping those fitness pros and leaders of all kinds thrive in their careers is what I'm
Yes.
absolutely passionate about. So I love that you've got
You and
these
me both.
programs there that help do that. I know you need both. It's like we're living these like twin lives in Canada and the US and trying
With
to keep
similar
getting back together.
floral bedding as well.
I love that. Listen, looking forward to the rest of 2022. What are you optimistic about? What keeps you grounded? What are you noticing as moments of gratitude? How are you seeing what's coming up and helping yourself stay grounded and helping yourself stay grateful
Yeah.
moving forward?
I think it's well, little things in terms of gratitude, and I'm really conscious of this. My family and I, we made a big move. We uprooted our family and moved about 9 months ago from New
Mm,
Jersey to North Carolina, and that was a big change. And I've noticed when I do hard things.
mhm,
So it's interesting because maybe that's the opposite of staying grounded, but actually, what keeps me grounded and humble and pushing forward and doing and not getting complacent is
mm,
when I have to have pattern interrupts. Like I have to make
mm,
sure that I am every day I challenge myself to reach out to somebody. So somebody in the industry, a past client. So it keeps my finger on the pulse. That
mm,
keeps me grounded, reminds me why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I don't know if that's the
mm.
exact answer that you want, but
Yeah.
for 2022, I have a big vision for my Momentum 365 programs. I
Mm,
think I know it can make a huge difference in the lives of clients and the lives of professionals in our industry. I know it. And in order for me to um, execute and realize that vision, what are those hard things I do every day, those uncomfortable things I do every
mm,
day? And then
mm,
on the other side of those uncomfortable things is progress, it's momentum, right?
mm.
So,
I
yeah.
love the concept of pattern interrupt. Because I mean, we had one, and then
Yes.
we got into some other ones because 2 years is certainly pattern producing, certainly habit changing, and now it's the pattern interrupt to then move forward to something
Yeah.
new again. And change is uncomfortable, but that's what we share with others all the time. We help others go through change, and so I love the authenticity of you saying I
Yeah.
need to do it for myself from time to time,
Mm-hmm.
and surround yourself with those opportunities. So thank
Yeah.
you so much for sharing
Oh,
that.
thank you.
We will put all over the podcast and the posts and everywhere, and you guys can see it on my website, how to get in touch with Lindsay, to reach
You.
out to her. I can promise you, having had benefited from her generosity of spirit and insights, that she will do that for anybody who reaches out to her and connect with you there, whether you want to just connect, whether you're looking into the programs or anything else. Thank you so much for your time. I cannot wait to see you in Squeeze You.
Oh, I know. I'm looking forward to it too.
And we shall see one another soon. Merci,
Yes.
Lindsay.
Merci. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.